Welcome crafters, organizers, home keepers. I'm so glad you're here today with all the things that you have to do. Thank you for watching my channel today. Today's craft is a very special thank you to all of you who have subscribed, because this week with your help, I was able to hit 1,000 subscribers, and that is a huge deal for me. So about a year and a half ago, I started posting on this channel as a means to actually have an opportunity to teach, because I am a school teacher deep in my heart, but because of a move and some pretty big health concerns with my daughter who has Down syndrome, we moved, and so I no longer have a public teaching job, but I love to teach, and that's one of the reasons I started the channel, and to hopefully find a way to help my family through these more difficult times. And so 2 months ago, I was on the verge, I was in that debate of do I continue or don't I? And your comments made the difference. And when I would see a comment that a video made you laugh, or you thought it had a great idea, or just a thank you to me for doing it, I said, nope, I'm going to stick with this and see it through. So this week, I went to bed one night with 999 subscribers and woke up the next morning over 1,000. And so thank you. So as a special thank you, I am going to give away a $100 Michael's gift certificate to celebrate 1,000 subscribers. And so if you will like and comment on this video, I will choose someone from that group who like and comment on this video within the next 5 days. I'm going to pick one of you, pick a name, and that person will get my $100 Michael's gift certificate. So thank you, and surprise! And if you have not yet subscribed, please do so. Thank you for liking my videos. Thank you for commenting, because all of those things help my channel and my family too. And so thank you so much to all of my subscribers. I feel like some of you I've never met, but I feel like you're my friends. And thank you for your kind comments. So this video today is a very simple, very easy to do craft with no special materials other than some decorative paper. And so let's get started on my thank you craft to you. Okay, here's the project that we're going to be making today. I'm going to make this in colors for Hanukkah. This particular one is generic for any holiday, birthday, any gender. And so this is how this box opens, and it's a box of many cards and envelopes. I've got 4 envelopes in there that I made, and 4 cards that are all miniature. They're all different. This finished envelope is 3 1/4 by 2.5. This is not big enough to send through the U.S. mail. So to send through U.S. mail, the smallest you can send is 3 1/2 by 5. So these would be great to put on a gift, a little thank you note. It could go with a special food gift that you've made for neighbors. It could be with a teacher gift. It just can't go through the mail. Now, if you did have a real pretty one that you wanted to go through the mail, you could still do this, make that, and then just slip it into a 3 1/2 by 5 envelope, and then of course it will go through the mail just fine. But these cards are designed more for gifts, little thank yous, to be attached to something. And so I have 4 cards in there, 4 envelopes, and they just slip right into the box just like that. So let me show you how easy this is to make. So we're going to start with an 8 1/2 by 11 paper, and here's just a great idea. So I went to the dollar store because I wanted to use a box right about the size of a box of crayons. So I bought the box and put the crayons in the crayon thing to be used. but then I just took the box apart to use as a pattern. Now I wanted a different opening. This had just a square opening, so this was straight across. I wanted it to have that sort of old traditional crayon box look, like what is shown here. And so I used one of my round dies and just cut that out. And then I just attached over here a piece of cardstock using the same cutout, but that would fit even with that tab, and just glued it on over there, taped it on over there. So that's my pattern. So it's super easy. That's one of the great idea for the dollar store is you can find boxes and things that you can then buy and deconstruct to help you know how to build a box that is of that same size and similar. And so I'm going to go ahead and trace this pattern right onto my paper. Okay, and now just cut it out. Now I'm going to flip it so this becomes my front, so you can't see any of those lines that I drew. So I'm actually going to get out my Cricut cutter here and use it as a scoreboard. When I look at this, I see that I have a score that runs all the way across here. And so I'm going to put this into my cutter and line up at the bottom of that notch. And then I'm just going to use my bone folder and just score all the way across there. And then we have a score that runs from this notch to that one. So I'm just going to line those up and score it. And I'm just going to work my way around this. So that box, you just keep bringing that in to help you know what to do. So we have all of our scores based on what we see here. So let's go ahead and fold and reinforce those scores. Okay. Now that the scores are all done, now I'm going to cut out notches. So see how there are these notches cut out? We're going to go ahead and do that. Now I am going to put a little bit of decoration on this, but I want to see exactly where my front and back are going to end up. So I'm going to do all of this stuff before. All right, so that's ready. Now, when I put this together, this is going to be my front. So I want to do some stamping, do a tone on tone. And so I have out my Distress Oxide ink. And what I'm going to do is use my little scrap that I have here. And I'm going to test out some of these colors. And I have this stamp set from Honeybee Stamps. And when I saw this, it was actually on clearance, which is how I love to buy stamps. And when I was looking through clearance, I knew this is something that I would use. I tried out the Stamp of the Month Club, and I was getting stamps that, yeah, they were cool or whatever, but I didn't know that I would use them repeatedly. And so I don't buy Stamp of the Month anymore. What I do to get a great deal on stamps is I go into the stamp companies that I'm interested in, and I look absolutely through their clearance, their last chance, because they are so deeply discounted that you can actually get stamps for about the same deal that you would get with the Stamp of the Month Club. And so, but they're stamps that you know you're going to use. And so I'm going to go through, and I just love this leaf and berry thing here. And so I'm going to use that stamp on my little block here, because I don't need to be careful. I don't need precision. And so I don't need my stamping tool. And I'm just going to try out some of these colors because I do want that tone on tone thing going on. So I'm just going to put this on here, and we're just going to try a few different colors with our Distress Oxide ink. So there's my test strip. The blueprint sketch is the one I really like. And so I'm going to go ahead and use that one. Now I'm just going to go ahead and keep that flat, lay that flat, and I am just going to go ahead and randomly stamp all over this. I just think that looks so pretty. With this set, I also got the matching dies, because when it comes right down to it, I actually enjoy die cutting more than I enjoy stamping. And so if they're available, I usually get the matching dies. And luckily, because this set was being retired, so were the dies. And so they were at a really good price point. So what I'm going to do, I'm just kind of planning this as I finish. And I'm going to use this menorah, but I'm going to use the die cut of the menorah. And that's what's going to go on the very, very front of the box, because that goes along so well with what the cards I'm going to be making as well. Now I'm going to use my MISTI, and I've got a piece of scrap paper here. I hope this is big enough. I think it is. So I'm going to go ahead and just hold that down. I have a cut up old Cricut mat that I cut to that size that has still some stick left. So I'm putting that down in, and then I'm going to go ahead and ink that up and get a nice impression of that menorah on the yellow, because these are the colors of Hanukkah. And so I just want to make that, oh, that looks nice. I'm just going to do it one more time just to get a nice solid imprint. There we go. This is why I love the MISTI, because you can stamp in the same place over and over. And then before I take that off, I'm going to go ahead and get it cleaned up, because it's easier to clean if it's stuck onto your MISTI. Okay, then I will use this, the menorah die, and I'll cut those out. Plus I'm going to cut a few others of yellow so that I can stack and create some dimension. So look at this. I really like how that came out, so that we can create a strong dimensional menorah. So what I'm going to go ahead and do then is glue all three of these together, and then we'll go on with our box. Okay, there we go. Now, I hope you can see that we've built up some dimension in that image, and it's pretty strong, and then we can use that to decorate the outside of our box. Okay, so let's take care of the box. And if you're not sure, get your pattern, and then you can see exactly how it goes together. We only need to glue in one spot, and that's right there along that edge. And so I am going to use some pretty strong two-sided adhesive tape. So I'm going to put one down and go ahead and peel up the backer, and then go ahead and put the second one down. All right, and then I'm going to line that up. I'm going to bend that actually, and line that up, and I'm going to stick that down. There we go. There we go. So you've created that box, and then all we have to do is go ahead and fold in the tabs, and there we go. We have our box. Now, before I finish that off, before I, while I can still go flat here, I'm going to go ahead and get this menorah centered on there. I'm going to glue that on so that we have it all ready, all together. And then we'll let that dry while we work on our cards. Now, to make these cards, I mostly used a lot of scraps of varying colors of blue and some yellows. And I have this die set and stamp set that I really like, but just keep in mind you can use any number of your own stamps or dies to do this project. I'm just going to show you what I have and what I like. And this tray from the dollar store helps so much when you're assembling dies and getting them all together. So I just ran things through with my Cricut Big Shot, and I did as many as I could all at one time. And then I'm just going to quickly show you some of how I assembled this. I assembled a whole bunch of candles all at once. I added the little yellow parts at the top, just to give them that sort of finished look. Some of them I added other details to. And then I put tape down on a card and arranged my candles one by one on that card so that I could have them set the way I wanted. So I did all of this before I even started assembling the actual cards. So this is just a scrap piece of cardstock with a tape runner on it, and that way I can get all of my card shapes assembled all at once. And that just makes it so easy because with little pieces, sometimes it gets a little tricky and fiddly. And so I just like doing it this way where I stick them down and then use those sections to assemble my card. On some of the candles, as I was adding details, I also did some glitter on those little bits of the fire on the candles just to make them look really pretty. So here you can see each of the four different sections, the four groups that I assembled onto scrap cardstock. And then I just went ahead and folded my cards. And because I had assembled these as a group on scrap cardstock, I was able to just glue them down as one set, and I didn't have to fiddle with them on the actual card. And so it went together so well. And so I'm just gluing these down in the group, putting them on the card, and then I'm going to put them under my little tray there to kind of help get them glued down. This one I had fun doing at a little bit of a slant like that, and I like how that turned out. And so I'm going to glue these down, and then once that glue dries, I'm going to go back through and then trim off any parts that hang over the bottom of the card, as you can see here. This was just such an easy way to assemble. Okay, so there's the first one. Now this one, I can open it up and I can go back through and trim that off. And then I'm starting to just really get this group of cards that all match. They follow the same theme. And I just love how they turned out. I think they're so cute and so fun. I had taken apart an envelope of a small envelope, and I had used that to help make a pattern that worked for this size that I needed. So I went through my pretty papers that I made using Google Images and a Word document, and I went ahead and cut out that pattern so that I could have envelopes for each of my cards. So I just cut them out and scored them and ended up gluing it all together and creating my own envelopes. So that's one way you can figure out how to create things like this is take one that exists, take it apart, and then you can kind of figure out how to get it all back together, just like we did with the crayon box. So these envelopes were so easy, and it ended up being just so cute. And I did several different papers, but in the end, this was my favorite paper. And so I ended up doing all four envelopes in this same paper. I just felt like the look of it was nicer. So last of all, I went ahead and folded those envelopes and got them down. Sometimes when you do these, you might have to do a little bit of trimming up on these, just so you know. But then I put pretty strong two-sided tape on the bottom part of the envelope and secured that to create that open envelope part. Then I went ahead and used the same double-sided tape
to put adhesive along the top edge so that it could be closed up. But I left the backing on that tape.
Okay, let's look at our finished gift card box. So we've got our menorah on the front, we've got this fun opening, and then we've got all of our cards. I just really like how these have turned out. We've got a couple that are the side orientation, and then a couple that are the up and down. And I really love those. And then we've got 4 envelopes that these cards just fit so easily in. And it just makes such a nice gift card. So now you could also add to this box, you could add some gift tags that kind of fit the theme, because there is space that, you know, I could probably fit a couple of more cards, a couple of more envelopes, or some some Hanukkah gift tags. But that's how that turns out. And so there we've got our crayon size boxes that fit some beautiful holiday cards and envelopes, or for any occasion. I hope you liked that. I hope that you'll subscribe to the channel. I appreciate those who have subscribed. I'm very excited to have just this morning reached 1,000 subscribers, and you have no idea how exciting that was for me and my whole family to see that happen, and I'm just so grateful. And so we'll see you next time.